Hi everybody, and welcome back to another edition of Hunk of Junk Car Mods Garage. We're working on the 97 Ford Mustang into Pro Street. For those of you that have seen some of our videos already, you know what we've been doing with it. For those that haven't, we will catch you up on the date. We took a 4.6 mod motor, pulled it out, put a 302 in it, and it bolted right into the K-member and everything like that. We're going to take you around here and show you what we have done with the 97. First of all, we've got 302 in here. We've cut the hood. We're not finished with the hood. We're not finished yet with some of the stuff. We give her a bath because she was a little dirty, but there she is. Okay, let's start from the beginning. What we did was we built the motor. We put some Eastwood porcelain paint on it. The porcelain paint is one of the best that I've seen for the motor paint. It will not burn off. It actually covers the divots and everything like that and makes it look smooth. When you do this, you have to degrease the motor very well. Tape off all your cylinders and stuff like that of cars so you don't get none of that paint in it. We had in the beginning, we had an Edelbrock carburetor on it. It was a 650, it just wasn't enough. So what we did is we bought us a Demon carburetor, a 750, and put that on it. We have aftermarket pulleys on it to increase horsepower. We modified the power steering pump, the hydro boost system to work for this. This motor has got such a big cam in it and it doesn't create vacuum. The cam is okay. I went and got my paper so I knew what the cam had in it so I could tell you specifically. Valve adjustment, HYD. Gross valve lift is 541 on the intake and 526 on the exhaust. It's a .006 tappet lifter, and it is 291 on the intake, 311 on the exhaust. The valve timing open close on it is 0.6. Intake is 42.0. The close is 69.0. The exhaust is 82.0, and the BBDC is 49.0. Okay, the specs are for this cam, which is a comp cam, and it is at 102.0 intake center line. Duration is 0.050, intake is 235, exhaust is 249. Lobe lift is 0.3380. The exhaust is 0.3290. Lobe specifications is 107.0, and that's the cam that we have in it. It also has heavy duty belt springs in it. It is a roller lifter cam with roller rockers on it. It has the aftermarket distributor. It has the Edelbrock what they call an air gap intake on it. It has a spacer for NOS on it. We haven't put the NOS on it yet. It has equal length headers on it. They're shorties, but they're equal length. That's how they come, which creates horsepower. We modified our reservoir for our power steering pump to sit to the side. We took a 95 radiator and put in it with the fan. Check out our wiring for this. We modified our wiring, the factory wiring harness, to work with this car, which is really simple. You know, you need a hot wire that comes on with your key and stays on for the distributor. You need one for your choke if you have electronic choke on it. You need your wiring, which we didn't have to mess with, that goes to the alternator. And then you have your wiring for your starter. That we use pretty much the same one. This was a stick car. It was a 5-speed. We turned it into an automatic. We put an AOD in it with a 22 to 2800 stall. See if I can catch up on everything here. We put 95 motor mounts in it. That way it would bolt right in. We have high performance ignition cable spark plug wires. The aftermarket distributor allows us to run with the coil pack on the top. We didn't think it was going to clear the hood, but it cleared the hood. What we're going to do with the hood is we're going to shave her down and underneath here in the inside, and we're going to fiberglass her back up so she looks good, and put the heat shield stuff back on the hood. We've kept our same hood latch. We're going to be putting in pins in it for safety reasons. We put aftermarket headlights in it and aftermarket tail lights. The inside we took and kept our stick boot in there and added it with the automatic shifter. Granted, you don't have your indicator to tell you what's drive, what's reverse, you know, low, whatever. But, you know, the ones that you have drove quite a bit, you pretty much know where it's at. I mean, you can feel it. The Ford automatic shifter will not allow you, when you're slamming gears, to go into the drive. It will go into neutral, but it has a hesitation before it will. You have to back off to push it again to get it into neutral, so you will not be overshifting. We have a Pioneer system set up in it with a big amplifier, 15s and 12s in it, with a pair of 6x9 Pioneers. We have the Cobra door speakers in it, up at the top for the tweeters and down below in the bottom. We have adjustable coil springs in it, or coil overs, the front and the rear. We have aftermarket gauges on a gauge pod. We have put in a tack, a speed tack in it, so that we can see what we've done. As far as that goes, the factory tack don't do it. We can use the factory gauges as far as the oil, the water temp, you know, fuel gauge and everything like that. But we decided to put in something that gives us a little bit better reading in it. Of course, a lot of guys do that, you know, to and you know, see exactly what you're pushing. We have the 411 gears in it. Now the AOD is an overdrive, so we can run them low gears like that on a highway without having to have it, you know, be so revving so high driving down the road. We have our factory buckets in it right now. Again, we are going to be getting racing seats and the 5-point harness to put in it. We haven't done that right yet because we've been concentrating on the motor and getting it running. As far as seats, we can drive it around the way it is. She seems to run pretty good. We'll fire it up here for you. On the body right now to paint it, and we'll keep you updated. For those of you that have subscribed, we appreciate it. For those of you that haven't, please subscribe and like our videos and share if you'd like to share. Join us next time for our next project. This is a 94 Cobra base model. Basically a Cobra body with the V6 in it. We are going to be putting a 351 Cleveland in this, building it up to make a 408. This is my son's car. He's been putting a little bit in it here and there. I'll give you a little bit of a peek inside. Got his race seats already. Looks like a pile of junk, but that's what we're there for. We take hunk of junks and turn them into something. It's starting to look pretty good though. He's done a good job on it. Got his wide tires. He's going with the small tire, but his tires are pretty wide. It's got the aftermarket hood on it, aftermarket front end. So stay tuned for this one coming up. For those of you that haven't subscribed, please subscribe. You'll be able to keep up to date on what we're doing. The people that have subscribed have already seen the other videos that we come out. Check out our YouTube channel and you know, go through our videos. You'll see how we tubbed it out and everything like that, and tire size and so on and so on. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you again next time.